Well, welcome to another edition of BC Bud Radio. Great to be back. Hope everyone had a great summer. The show we're going to be talking about our new product, Wilamo. It's super exciting. It's flying off shelves everywhere, and we're here with your host, the Camel, of course, and
hey everybody,
very special guest, Peter Swistak.
Thank you. Pleasure being here, Matt. Absolutely an honor.
Totally. All right, everybody. Of course, we took a little time off there. We weren't planning on doing shows in July and August, but next thing you know, it became November. Just time. This whole 2019 just seemed to fly by us. There's a new decade coming in less than 50 days.
Absolutely.
Right, and
I never thought of that. Wow, that's intense.
That's a new decade coming. It's a new decade coming. Right?
True to that.
And 2019 just seemed to get right by us. What is this, Jay? Is this number 10? Number 10, Big J saying. Big J, our audio-video guy, is with us again, of course.
Number 10.
Number 10.
Number 10. Radio, episode
plus
10.
I think there was a couple of specials.
Right, yeah. When you tried to join the baseball team.
Who?
You.
Not me.
Oh, right, yeah.
What are you talking about?
The Macho Camel, that's right.
Right, and I believe there was also the 420 special, wasn't there?
Featuring Zen Dog from Cypress Hill, if I remember.
Of course. All right, everybody. So today we have a special guest here. It's a little bit different than what we usually do. Of course, usually we bring in guests that are in the cannabis business type of thing. But today we brought in a mining executive.
So you're not going to hold it against me.
We are not holding against you. If you notice, this is very unusual. We don't have an ashtray. It's not all smoky. We're gonna stay nice and calm today. We'll smoke a little bit later after the old episode. And so Peter Swistak here is the CEO and president of
Vertical Exploration.
Vertical Exploration. He has been a mining executive for many years. Matt's known him for over a decade. I've known him for about 5 years.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk about one of the mines he runs or controls, his company controls. And he got us involved. He approached us about a year and a half ago and said, hey, guys, why don't you try this out? He had another company, I think it's called Agrinova.
Agrinova, yeah, it's a research and development company in Quebec.
And they were doing...
what they do is they oversee all the agriculture and cattle in Quebec.
Okay.
And they've actually done some research and development for us over the last year.
Perfect. Now, when he approached us, he said, we have a product that can be an agricultural product. It has been used in... plastics, cement.
That's right. It's like a two-tier here.
Ceramics.
Wollastonite is, well, we like to think of it totally, which it is, a white mineral for the green world. It is used in the industrial minerals part of it for, strength in cement. It replaces asbestos. Etc. in the industrial side.
Yeah, on the industrial side.
Yeah, our focus is the agriculture side, which is a huge end of our outtake.
Sure.
Now.
Okay, before we actually get into the whole wollastonite thing, why don't you give a little history of yourself, Peter?
Well, myself, I've been in the market here for over 25 years on the TSX market, etc. with other companies I've been involved with. We took this
mostly mining.
Mining, totally.
Okay.
We took this project over. It was in 2017. Basically, what intrigued me on this, I had several projects in front of me.
Yep.
I had the lithium, the graphite, the gold prospects of that. But this particular project took my take in it because there was like 220 million spent on this project.
Okay.
This was a past producer.
Okay.
In Quebec. Basically, I started doing my due diligence, and I thought the agriculture side of this industry is fantastic, which is mostly what I believe in here. it's going to replace all the chemical fertilizers and everything
Excellent.
that is
Yep.
out there right now. I don't know if anybody heard, but basically probably have. India, the government mandated to the agricultural side, you have to stop using chemical fertilizers because it's actually doing a lot of grief to the
Yes, to
to
the
whole
environment
itself
and
things
even to the people, of course.
well, yeah, because it does come down the food chain.
It comes down the food chain, of
Yeah.
course.
So we really focused on this. We've done a lot of research and development. Matt has taken to it the other whole side of the avenue is one of the end users would be specifically for the cannabis and the hemp industry,
Okay.
which we think will.
Yeah, it was crazy. So we started out doing these trials about year and a half, 18 months
About a year
ago
and a half
now.
ago, yeah.
Yeah.
We did a 3-phase trial.
I've been a director of research and development with Vert since the inception, and
Exactly.
we found quickly that a fine grind is what you needed to basically soak that calcium silicate right into the
Okay,
product.
so let's talk about the study. So if you go back to our original show with Remo and Sandra, we actually talked about in 2018, there was a major problem throughout BC with powdery mildew, PM, it's called PM. It just wasn't in the cannabis industry. It was
Everywhere.
everywhere.
My mother-in-law's
We're talking
strawberries were
pumpkins,
ruined.
Melons, apples, pears. If you just walked the local park, you could see it everywhere. Now, it was unusual weather that year. It went from 2 months of very wet to 3 months of drought, which caused a lot of plants to have a lot of stress and all that. And the PM became quite the problem.
It was an epidemic.
Everywhere.
And that's actually
Everywhere.
that extended through Oregon and Washington also.
Yes, all down right to California, actually.
Yeah.
Right to California. There was major crop losses, and then not just in the cannabis industry. It was everywhere. Any broad-leafed type of plant was picking up on this powdery mildew.
It's not healthy for kids to be walking around in parks
No,
like
of course
breathing
not.
that
It's
either,
spores
right?
and everything, right?
Yeah.
And especially if they're traveling through and they're getting it on their clothes and stuff like that. It was nasty. I remember even your front yard
Yeah, it was savage.
had it, and all you had was hedges with these big leaves,
Yeah.
and it was on the big leaves on your hedges.
Yeah, the mother-in-law's strawberries were ruined.
Right. So Peter approached us. I do believe it was late 2018.
That's right.
Right? And he said, what do you guys think about trying this product? And I will admit at first it was like, yeah, whatever. And we were having a bit of PM problems. At, our grow facilities that are here, our licensed grow facilities. And from there, we started doing a study. Peter sent us a skid.
3 grades.
With many, not just 3. If you remember, he even sent us the rocks. He even sent us
We said different grades. Yeah, we did.
I think there was about 6 or 7 grades in there,
Okay.
but some of them were actually rocks.
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
So with our study, this is online. You can go to Peter's site. What's your
verticalexploration.com.
No,
okay? And you'll make sure that's up there somewhere, here, there, somewhere, right?
VertXinc.com, I thought, no?
Sorry.
VertXinc.com?
That's correct. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. Because
Oh, you got both domains.
Well, vertxinc.com. Yes. Go to that one.
VertXinc.com.
perfect. Because Jay will put that up above your head, I'm sure. Right?
Exactly.
Right. So once it right. So what happened is he sent us all these different grades, and at first, we started doing a whole experiment in our thing with our soil mix. We were just using kind of a pro mix. We were using worm poo, right?
Worm castings,
of course,
bit
the
of green
castings,
sand.
bit of green sand.
We can't tell everyone our super soil
Of
mix.
course, right? But overall, and so we started adding it to our soil mixes and stuff like that. And our first experiment was, I do believe it was at like 130 plants only or something like that.
We were short, yeah.
Right, because we had 130 and 130. That's all we were allowed at that facility. And, of course, right away, we started seeing results. And not only the results were just for PM, we started seeing results for other things, including tripes and root grubs.
Root gnats, sorry. And, and we also seeing, massive root growth. Yeah.
Cell structure on the actual plants itself.
Incredible.
So I was still not a true believer. I will admit, I was still not a true believer. And so what we did was we had a smaller tent-sized area, right? And we took, I believe it was 16 and 16 out of those that we already pre-mixed. And we put them in with plants that were solid with PM. Solid. And we mixed them all in together. And then all of a sudden we started seeing the ones that they were even touching each other. And the plants that were with last night were not affected by PM. And we were amazed. It was like, what? Come on, man. Like, and, like most PM is conquered through sulfur burners, sulfur sprays
and
stuff like
Defender, that. Nothing you want to, really have around your plants.
Well, even Health Canada will only let you use Defender until the growth cycle. As soon as you start blooming, you're not supposed to use Defender whatsoever, right? And me and you passed a certain facility here in BC.
Oh, I remember that.
And we already knew that their whole 4,000 plant crop was done.
That was the same year, 2018.
That was the same year.
Yeah,
that was the same
There's
year.
memes all over the internet about that.
Yes, like you can go back.
We won't mention any company names.
We won't mention any companies here, but one of the bigger companies that are are involved in the cannabis trade.
If not the biggest.
If not, maybe the biggest. So of course, we we heard about this company having big problems and stuff like that. And, it's not to admit that we weren't having some of the same trouble and stuff like that. But once, we started doing phase work here, I will admit the rocks weren't the best of the product.
True. True.
We can use those to melt the snow in the stairs this year, right?
That's right.
Yeah, we still got them. So.
You can, exactly. So, I mean, totally that we are trying to get the grade that would be actually the most applicable for what you're using, totally, on that end of it.
Sure.
But we managed to get the right grade, totally, with the success that we were looking for.
Yeah.
So that's
and it just kept getting better and better for us. By phase 3, we noticed that like a 10 or 15% mix was the best of fine powder that was mixed with your soil. We were getting the best results. We were getting huge cell structure. Huge.
They're like celery stalks. They're tree trunks on the top, not just the bottom, on the top.
On the top. There was definitely no soil-borne bugs. Now we can get into that. What it is wollastonite is it is a crystal.
It is a crystal structure there.
Crystal structure.
It definitely worked.
Golden
with what you were.
It acts as a diatomaceous earth because it structures like little, basically splinters on almost a microscopic level, so that any soil-borne predators or thrips just get shredded on contact.
And what it is, it's not the adults themselves, but what it is the eggs are laid as a pupa in your soil, and the larvae, once they hatch, they start burrowing down. But they ended up getting shredded up, that there's no life cycle there, so you're not getting new adults or anything like that. We also know very healthy root structure, right? And of course, wollastonite is basically what it is. It is silicate. It's calcium silicate, all right? And what it is
Healthy dose of magnesium and
yeah,
the
it's your
trace.
CalMag.
Right.
It's your CalMag.
Right.
It also has lots of other beneficials in there. So it's almost like a glacier rock dust, but with more. Right? It does have more in there. It even has things like boron, which is needed for your plants and stuff like that. A little bit of iron, right? And we'll talk about the iron because where Peter's mine is one of the best pure wollastonite mines there is. It's very rare. There is only 2 mines in North America right now, right?
That's right. One thing about wollastonite, it is hard to find for one.
Yes.
It is hard to find. And then obviously the purity helps. Is what we're doing for all kinds of research that we're doing right now. But we're blessed. We have the infrastructure, we have the mine itself, and
And where's the mine? Can you say the mine? Where it
Say
is?
Nage. Say Nage.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Say
I
Nage.
wanted you to say it because
Say Nage.
I have trouble
Quebec.
saying French
Say
names.
Nage, Quebec.
Saint Ange, so it's OGNE, but you don't say the N.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Exactly. So that's where we are. We're located where we have a deep port there.
Yep.
We're close to the rail, so the infrastructure is a perfect scenario for us to reach all markets in Europe as well.
Now it's
as
up
the
to you. Do you
States.
want to say the numbers that you have there
Well,
that are available?
Well, we could say that we have well over, let's say, 15 million tons that we could talk inferred and also discuss on our 43-101. But we could look at close to 50 million tons. And
Which is a lot.
And
That's a lot.
And
Yeah.
possibly greater. But I can't go into great detail about that because
that's
it's
why I
not
asked. That's why I asked.
43-101 compliant. But nevertheless, once we are in production, we are not an exploration company anymore. We are actually into production. So there's a different
and what's
scenario
great
there.
about wollastonite is, as you already said, it's makes the earth green, right? It helps things. So you see other
100%.
mines, like copper and gold, and they just rip the earth apart, right? So even though he's a miner, and of course he's they got to dig no matter what, they got to dig.
That's right.
But everything that's going to come out of it is going to go back to the earth. And that's what's great about wollastonite.
Correct.
Now, I want to show some of the things. We got involved now with Peter, BC Bud Depot, and Bert after we did the test and all that. And we started Willamo. Right? Willamo. Right? And what it is, and that's pure wollastonite. I don't know if you can see through there. We even have the window, so you can actually see what it is, right, and stuff like that. And of course, a lot of people, especially growers, they're always to their own means. I've done this and this and this for years. I've done this, but not all the time. It always works. Sometimes, things.
I was shocked at the results.
I was shocked. I will admit, I was shocked.
We, it was like, okay, let's work on a logo now. And then it's like, okay, well, it's Willamo. So anyways, we came up with a woolly mammoth who's totally stacked, right? And he's, because basically, it's a little. It looks. Cannabis Now magazine was just saying, "Oh, that's kind of aggressive." I'm like,
That looks a little aggressive.
That's the
right.
point. That's the point. It aggressively takes out powder mildew, as well as thrips, any soil-borne predators, and we don't even
And
have
plus
to.
gives you great cell structure
And
root
it's
mass.
a natural organic defender that actually
Organic too. Let's
Yeah.
make sure we keep saying that. Organic.
Exactly.
There has been previous companies which did get it OMRI'd. I don't know if that's the proper word, but OMRI. So it has been certified before as organic. It is a one ingredient material. Nothing else added to the bag. Right? Everything's on there. You can find through Peter's website
That's right.
the scientific test and the lab tests that are all done on this.
all the BC Bud Depot trials are up there.
All the BC Bud, including Agronova. And don't they want to do maple trees? Or something?
Exactly. What's most important that wollastonite has already been proven with like strawberries, blueberries, all these, anything that you can grow indoors. Basically, it sort of complements the cannabis industries because obviously a lot are grown indoors, clearly. So we have it here with what we have in our product here. It's not only good for all the other agriculture, we're finding end users in, for example, maple syrup industry, which is huge in Quebec. Totally. I have another advisor that's in Quebec right now, and he said this would be so good for the ginseng industry also, which has the problem with the fungi and things
Yeah,
and such.
because it's a broadleaf plant too.
Yeah, and we're also looking into the wine industry.
Wow.
So
that could be huge.
Which yeah, definitely
That could be huge.
huge, as well as the hemp industry, etc. If you're going to do oils and you're going to do seeds, you certainly don't want to be tainted by using chemicals in it. This is going to go into the food chain, no question about it. So we're very happy with all the multi-uses that it has. It's also going to be used for the water purification, for example.
It can also be used for landscaping.
Like
for
landscaping.
You can grow grass. You can put that in your roses.
Absolutely.
You can put that in your garden beds out front of your house.
That's right. It is truly, for everything that is agriculture, this is what you would be using.
Yes.
As far as it goes, that without the chemicals.
Exactly.
Is water good for water retention, balancing pH levels?
Absolutely. I mean, it's going to be used for example, for the burns in the forest, for remediation, for the forest that has been burnt, because it brings pH levels to the soil itself, and nutrients and everything else. So yeah, we're going to be doing tests in that side of the industry too, because that is huge with the forest industry also.
I'm not in the forestry. I can only help you on the cannabis side of things.
Well, that's true. But you see, we're going all the way across the board.
Of course.
It is going to be used for all these.
And that's what we ended up loving about it. By the time we got past phase 2, it was like, wow, is this stuff ever working? And now, of course, we weren't using the rocks by then.
Yeah, obviously. That's
but by phase 3, we were totally convinced that this is one of the products that needs to be brought to the agricultural world and the cannabis business itself. Right?
Well, we thought this was going to be a really good sounding board on that, because on the cannabis industry is well known, the better the plants or the higher the yield, the more actual profits you're going to be taking in.
And THC and CBD, exactly like the structure of the plant itself.
Healthier the flower,
medicine.
Bigger yields, more organic.
Exactly. So that
the less pests. Yeah.
That's right. It's a win-win.
Now, I do believe Matt did say he's got some pictures that Jay is going to add to this episode, just to show you how this is working.
Yeah, we'll throw some Tricone porm up here. No problem.
Did you say porm or porn?
Porn.
Okay.
Try it, porn. Yeah, I'm tripping over my own tongue. But no, our warehouse is looking amazing right now. Like I was saying, we've got, tree trunks at the top of our plants, not even coming out of the ground. So it's pretty incredible. We've seen nothing.
Root structures are enormous.
Amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is now the roots are well known now, and one of the people that we do work with is now extracting terps out of roots. Right? So the root itself, healthy roots that are not used with chemicals and all that, can be a product. Right? He takes these, he extracts a couple of the terps.
Yeah, I wonder what it's for again.
It's for pain control.
Okay.
Right? It's
right for inflammation too?
Yeah, inflammation and stuff like that. Now he does make a mix. He does make a mix. I forget what the terp names are, but I'm sure you can look online. They have found 2 in the last 2 years that are just in the root system alone. They're not even in the plant. and they are for pain relief and for inflammation. Inflammation. Now he does his own extraction. He, believe it or not, adds frankincense and sea cucumbers. Or whatever, sea cucumber dust. I don't know how you get anything out of a sea cucumber.
You never know.
But yeah, so yeah, he does this whole thing, and he's had very bad back operations and stuff like that. He is now Mr. Functional. This is
excellent.
He takes like 4 caps a day of stuff he makes, and he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's showing us even pictures, even for skin inflammation.
Yeah.
Right? He had like a bad, flaky leg. I don't know what to call it, right? But he got rid of it. Overall, right?
Well, they use that
melanoma,
for
wasn't
psoriasis too.
Yeah, psoriasis.
Was it? Okay.
Psoriasis. Yeah.
Which you could spend all kinds of money going to a drugstore in medication that really doesn't work. But the cannabis side of the industry for psoriasis has really picked up, where it actually shows it takes care of that whole process.
No.
So that's interesting.
It's very interesting. And our buddy is, he's a bit of a savant, but he's a genius. Right? He is. He really is, right?
Yeah.
Now, Peter, are you taking this beyond Canada?
Yes, definitely. We're looking into, let's say now in Europe,
Okay.
as well as the U.S., as well as
and not
South
just the
America.
cannabis industry. You're
Oh,
talking.
no, absolutely. And the whole agriculture side of it.
Yeah, of course.
Because, as you know, South America is big on the agriculture side.
Yes, of course. Sure.
The U.S., obviously, they are contenders without a doubt.
But I still think out of everybody in the world, they love their chemicals. The farming community down.
Actually, it's funny that you brought that up. I think that you're going to see a trend where they're moving away from chemicals at a big scale. As I mentioned before, India was the first one who mandated.
And that was just a month ago. A month ago.
Said we have to get away from that. The U.S. is following suit. All the the big chemical fertilizer industries out there right now are going to have a challenge.
Sure.
Without a doubt on that to find that fit.
Well,
and we think that we could take, let's say, a big part of their problem off their hands by putting our product into the agriculture.
And once again, an organic product
with no chemicals.
With no chemicals whatsoever, naturally from the earth.
Exactly.
Like Mother Earth made this. I do believe it's made through pressure and volcanic rock, or is it?
Actually, I guess it would be more like volcanic rock and things of such and that.
Heat,
but,
too. Heat.
It's
and
the heat.
And thousands of years.
Yeah, but this is why, again, Strauss cited it's hard to find.
It's hard to find.
You can't find a deposit like for copper, gold, whatever you're looking about. So,
if you go online and look for mines that are doing this, there's 2 in North America, and I believe there's 2 in China. Yeah. And that's it. That's it. So that's how...
And they don't know how to grind the...
No, and the ones in China, we've already seen the bags, and they're like brown and filled with iron.
Yeah.
And if you look at that, that's pure white with a little bit of green speck in there.
That's added bonus.
That's a trace element right there.
Right.
Yeah.
That's part of the trace, right?
But we're very pleased.
You can't burn your plants with it. You can be very generous in application. And
we did find 10 or 15% was perfect.
Yeah.
In your soil mix, right? So a 4-liter pot basically needs a giant, because it's heavy. As you can see, it's a small bag. That's 1 kilo bag. You need
That's
about
good for like 4 plants, right?
No, not if you're doing a soil.
No, if it's the cannabis side of it.
We use about 50 to 75 grams.
Okay.
Per 4-liter pot.
Okay.
Now a 4-liter pot, sure it says 4-liter pot, but you don't always fill the pot right to the top.
Okay, I see.
Right, you're always leaving a bit of space and stuff like that, right? And when they say liter, that's on volume. It's not by weight.
Okay.
right? So once you get the weight together, that's why we use 50 to 75 grams
right.
per 4-liter pot.
Okay.
So you're talking, it's basically one huge tablespoon, or like, you know, two regular spoonfuls, right? You know, into your soil mix. You're 3 liters, usually 3 liters go in a 4-liter container. You know that you always leave a bit on the top, right, for watering purposes and stuff like that. It also can be used as a top dress. It can be recommended that you actually, you know, at least put a little bit into the soil and stuff like that. It is also good for flood tables, but what you got to do is make sure it's mixed for about 24 hours, maybe even 48.
Vigorously.
Vigorously.
Okay.
And that's because the silicate. The silicate's in there. Silicate is beach sand, you know, but this is more pure than that. That's what gives it the good cell structure, is the silicate. All plants love it. It is not recommended for anything with hydroponics because of the small tubing. If you use over a 1/4 inch tubing, that's fine. But if you're under a 1/4 inch tubing and you're using it as a drip, it's not recommended. But other than that, this stuff is great. Totally organic. And it's called Willastonite. Whoever wants to look it up, I'm sure Jay's going to put something up here. Right about there. Right? And it will, you know, Willastonite, you can look it up. It's on Wikipedia. It's a mineral. It's it's there. But
Available at www.willamo.com, and of course
the product is willamo.com.
and we put it up on bcbuddepot.com as well.
Right, and yeah, it can be bought through either sites. It could be. We have right now we got 1 and 2 kilo bags, right?
Yeah.
Available for the local customers.
Soon to be at your local grow shop.
Yeah, it's you know, we're just putting it out there. It's in a couple of grow shops. We've already gotten calls, and in
Connecticut.
yeah.
Last night it was Connecticut. Yeah, we got a call. Do you ship to Connecticut? We said, yeah, sure, we can.
Well, yeah, we're trying to get to that point. Right now, it's Canada wide for sure.
Yeah.
We will ship Canada wide. That's Peter's, job is to make sure we can start shipping this right across the world.
We'll put
Exactly.
distribution hubs up.
Exactly. No, we truly are looking at this as a global market
Of
with
course.
a global demand. So we don't put any barriers to say
No.
where you can or you can't. We definitely want to get this across to everybody who wants to use it. They can use this not only on the cannabis side or anything what they're growing.
And as he
basically.
said, he already mentioned ginseng.
Yeah.
We've got inquiries from coffee plantations. So it's any broadleaf plant this could be used on organically.
That's right. It brings the nutrients to the soil system,
Yes.
everything. It has a water retention, also brings pH levels.
And it's your CalMag. It is your CalMag.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So, no, we find it a great product. All right. So it's been a while, and we're going to wonder where Matt's been. Right? Matt had a little travel there a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I've been around and about. Yeah. I was called in to be a celebrity judge of the Dabbadoo Peru. So I'd never been to Peru before. And so I said, well, I can't pass that one up, right? So there I went, and we were, it's a spot. It basically says secret spot in Spanish. They're all in secret spots, right? Right now there's a Dabbadoo Columbia coming
And this
up.
was the second year, right? Second year for this?
No. It's been going since, I believe, 2013.
Wow. I thought
13?
it was only the
Yeah.
second one.
No. It's they've Barcelona, like everywhere in the world. There's Dabbadoo festivals.
No,
now.
but the one in Peru itself.
Oh, I believe this was the second one.
second
in
one,
Peru.
right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Anyways, the categories were rosin, solventless, and solvent, and
There was over 30, you said.
about 30 entries. And
Wow. It was all local?
it was me and Mila. Yeah, all local.
Why don't you show Mila?
Yeah, Mila's
She's a legend.
a bit of a legend from Amsterdam. She's such a nice lady. In her 70s now, invented the pollinator. This book's her biography, How I Became the Hash Queen. And you know what? She I'll give credit where credit's due. She dabbed me under the table.
Under the
at that
table,
festival,
dude.
right? So,
Nice.
yeah, but it was a whole lot of fun, and
So there was a couple of times he called me later at night after he's been dabbing. No, he's been dabbing all day, right? And he called me and said, "Oh, can you make sure this gets done? Can you? What about this? Can you phone this person?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem, buddy. No problem, no problem." He'd phone me in the morning and repeat himself, and it was like, "You just phoned me last night, man." And it's like, "No, I didn't." He'd even argue, "No, I didn't." And then the one time I even heard him, he took his phone, and you could tell he was looking. He was like, "Oh my God, I did call you."
yeah, it was a bit of a blur. There were some high quality products down there. And I did bring 5 kilograms of last night down there. Now the next thing I think I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to bring the Willamo to Expo Weed in Chile at the end of the month, and because there was a lot of people from Chile at the Dabbadoo Peru.
Are we not talking about Vancouver Home and Garden too?
Yeah, that's coming up in January.
That's in the end of January too, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
cool.
we got a lot of trade shows coming up this year, but we promise we'll be back here at BC Bud Radio once a month. We won't let you down on this side of things, and it's. I hope everyone had a great summer.
No, it was a pretty good summer. It was a pretty good summer.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. It was.
Absolutely.
Did you have a good summer, Peter?
Absolutely a good summer.
All right. How we doing on time here? Are we doing good or what?
We're at 40 minutes.
My goodness, look at that. Are we not doing the show or what? Right, it's like we never forgot anything.
It's
right?
like riding a bike. Right?
All right, everybody. That's been episode 10, what you've been being told. This is Peter Switchstack,
Thank you.
CEO and president of Vertical Exploration. And, of course, there's Matt from BC Bud Depot. Okay, everybody. Episode 11 coming up next month. See you soon.
Thank you for watching BC Bud Radio.